Hello and welcome to another week's edition of the Weekly Waller Review Show. We're here live from Warwick Farm in the construction site for the...
It's not live. We're not coming to you live, but
We're
doing it live.
We're doing it.
Yeah, how do you do it?
Start again?
Nah.
No, okay.
Everyone can see what you like.
Okay, well we're actually in the construction room with...
Tea room.
Yeah, the tea room.
Of the workers at Warwick Farm.
It's very busy out here, isn't it?
It is. They do a good job out here. The track's looking good. As are all the Sydney tracks at the moment.
Yeah, because they've got some hammering.
Credit to Randwick last week, and that track's turned around tenfold in the last 12 months.
Absolutely.
We're still racing on a heavy track, but gee, we're lucky to race. Obviously the week before that it was similar, and Roadsil's in great shape heading for their big 3-week carnival for the next 3 weeks.
Absolutely. We had just the one winner last week, with obviously most meetings being abandoned, but El Lou, she was gutsy.
She was.
Gutsy and
got
game
herself
brilliant.
some black type with a nice win. Coming through was a good Group 1 third. He's heading towards the Roadsil Guineas next start, and well on his way to being a Group 1 horse as well.
Absolutely. We'll head straight into Saturday, where we start off with Counterattack in the Newmarket.
Right. Gee, I like this horse, Charlie.
You always have.
He's drawn barrier 10. I
Field
like
of
the
13.
draw because Terra Vista's out there, as is the Joe Moreira 3-year-old that he's aboard. Name escapes me, but he's out there as well. Good 3-year-old, not the first tier Mick Price horse, the second tier one. Anyhow, it'll come to us later. And there's another one out there, Star Turn. It goes forward. It'll probably go forward as well. So we should just get a nice cosy run out there. 52.5 kilos.
Yep.
Stephen Baster aboard, good natural lightweight rider who had a ride on him earlier in the week. And
Extreme Choice.
Extreme Choice. That's it, Charlie. Well done. And I think he'll run a race.
I hope you're right.
I reckon he was favourite in it last year, but he dropped the rider on the way to the start.
Yeah, that's right. What a disaster. Hopefully he can
Sure
make up
was.
for it. Anyway, we also have Hipparchus in the 1800, drawn barrier 9 of 12.
Hugh Bowman aboard, slightly awkward gate, but Flemington, 1800 metres. Sure he'll find a spot, finish off strongly, and Hersley in there as well.
Yep, Hersley in there with Joe Moreira booked to ride. And
What happened to Craig Williams?
Craig Williams, naughty, got suspended.
Oh, suspended. Thought you'd given him the drag.
No.
Hersley's racing in great form. He drops to 54 kilos on Saturday. He's drawn well. The Magic Man aboard. Didn't strike a blow at Randwick on Saturday.
No.
But Sunday he certainly did.
Yeah, 8 of them.
8 winners.
Quite unbelievable,
It
really.
is. Frankie Dettori, he rode the card at Royal Ascot
At
once.
Ascot, yeah.
How many?
7.
7. Big effort. Great jockeys.
Right, we'll head straight into Rosehill. Kicking off in the first. Torgerson, barrier 6 in a field of 7.
Disappointing
Second
first up. His second up form is much better. Probably a touch short, but he'll improve with the senior rider aboard.
Okay, and La Chica Rosa in the Magic Knight, barrier 12 in a field of 16.
Should have won on debut. Had a slight setback since, but since trialled.
Trialled well.
Trialled very well, Charles. She's got a wide gate to contend with, but maybe the middle of the track mightn't be too bad if the track's going to be heavy. It's a heavy 9 at the moment. So, yeah, don't discount her. She's a pretty handy filly.
Okay. And into the Sky High Stakes. We've got a Grand Marshal.
He'll appreciate the 2,000 metre distance, and obviously second up he'll go much better.
Yep.
Loves the conditions, and I'm sure he'll suggest that he's one to follow heading towards the BMW, which he was placed in last year, and then of course the Sydney Cup, which he was also placed in.
And the same goes for Who Shot the Barman in barrier 8.
Yeah, ran a cracker first up over the mile,
It was.
running third behind Winks.
Great run.
He's come through it well. He's as happy as Larry. He won't worry about a heavy track on Saturday.
No, absolutely not.
And
Libran?
Tim Clark once again.
Yep.
Libran should be starting to show us some form. He's had a good solid build up towards these types of distances. 2,000 metres on Saturday will suit him much better than the 1,400 mile that he's been running over, and another one on track for the BMW. Sydney Cup, which he was placed in last year.
Yeah. And certainly, but
Not least.
last but not least, Antonio Giuseppe.
Terrific first up win. Second up 2000, but he's had 3 weeks between runs. He's a middle distance horse. He's a good horse.
Fit enough?
I would have liked to have been running him on a good track, but in saying that, he handles wet tracks. I think if horses handle wet tracks, they get through it and cope all right with it. Look, he hasn't missed any work. He had a good solid foundation up to a first up run. And he's taken no harm from that. I think he's fit enough.
Okay, good.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. And into the Phar Lap, we have Fox Plate Barrier 11, Kieran McAvoy.
Yeah. Nice race for her. She's got a very high rating. It's a set weights race. Just struggled last start at Randwick. She got a bit far out of the ground, and she's only finished 4th, but it was a good solid race. It was, I think, 2 or 3 Group 1
Slightly
winners.
too heavy for her.
Yeah, I think so. Not to say that Saturday's going to be any better, but I think they'll get into the track a little bit better on Saturday.
Okay, we also have in it Dawn Wall, who's also accepted in the
we might
Keith
as well
Nolan on
touch
Friday.
on her race at Kimber as well. The 3-year-old mile race down there. I'd say is where we head. We've kept her in both places to see what she will draw, although a heavy 10 at Kimbler.
Not much better barrier draw
so
either.
we might make a decision a bit closer to Saturday with her. A couple others there on Friday at Kimbler. I think the horses in the maiden mile probably be scratched and saved for Hawkesbury and Destination Tucson. She's got the blinkers going on. She's always a chance.
Absolutely. Okay, into the Coolmore Classic. We have 3 in it. French Emotion, Barrier 13.
Yeah, Awkward Gate. She's Group 1 placed, running second in the mire in the spring weight for age. She drops to a handicap here. 2 runs have been good. In particular, her most recent run where she finished off well. She'll appreciate the 1500 and give herself a chance.
Number 3-year-old Omer Sword, Barrier 19.
Yeah, Awkward Gate to contend with Charlie. Brenton Abdallah aboard 52 and a half or 52.
52 and a half.
So, look, the 1500 metre start is a good 500 metre run to the first bend. She'll be out wide looking for some cover, I guess, or with a lightweight maybe we can roll forward. But look, quality horse, just going to need a little bit of luck from the gate. Working well, first up run was terrific. Got through the heavy conditions, no problems first up.
Okay, and Shillelagh on 51 kilos, Barrier 7.
Yeah, she won't know that she's got a rider aboard. First up, forget the run, she had to jump a fallen horse. Second race, she was on the worst part of the track, finished off well enough. She'll appreciate the 1500. There wouldn't be a horse working better than her at the moment. She's going well. 51 kilos, good draw. She's a rough lightweight chance.
Yep, absolutely. Into the Ajax, we have A-Rod. What did Ty say when he got off last start?
Should have won.
Should have won.
Yeah, I think the rider then interfered with, got suspended. Beaten by McCreary, who we know is a good horse. It's great to see him attacking the line and want to be there, because that's the first time I've seen that for a while. And his work's been good. He got through the ground okay. He's drawn a bit wide on Saturday. That might be the only difference, because he does need to get cover. Won't be as easy to get cover, but look, at least it might put him in the right part of the track to finish off strongly. It's a good horse.
Okay, into the last. In 1900, we have Cawthon's Power, Barrier 6,
Yeah,
60 kilos.
He'll appreciate a bit of fine weather between now and Saturday. He's not as effective on the soft or heavy, or the heavy I should say. Soft tracks I think he likes. So we'll be keeping a close eye on the weather with him, but he's going well.
Valadero.
3-year-old taking on the older horses with a big weight, but needs to run in 2 weeks' time in the Tulloch. There's a little question mark over his wet track ability after last start. With that said, he did win a maiden on the heavy tracks. So wet tracks, they can throw up a lot of different variables. All tracks are different, so I'm hoping he can bounce back. He looks well and is working well.
Absolutely. And Hogmanay.
Very much the same as Cawthon's Power. Handles wet, but he's not as effective. He's never won on a heavy track. All his wins have been on good tracks. In fact, soft track likes a little bit better than heavy. So desperate to get some fine weather for him.
And finally, Winebush, 53 and a half on his back.
Yeah, he doesn't mind a wet track. I was going through the replays earlier today, and he ran a very good race at Warwick Farm one day on a very heavy track, heavy 10. He got home well first up, and second up his run was a pass mark. He'll appreciate stepping up and tripping. He's another one down at the weights.
Strong rider on board as well.
For sure.
Righto, that's all we got.
No scandal?
Yeah, Sophie's been
boy.
quiet this week.
You've been a good boy?
Yeah, always.
Good. Triathlon last week.
Yeah,
Just about drowned?
Yeah, almost drowned. Had to shut Coogee Beach down.
If anyone wants to know.
Get all the swimmers out.
What, they evacuated the beach?
Yeah.
And that's not scandal?
Nah.
It's what?
It's just a standard day in the life of me.
Everyone had to get out of the water.
Yeah.
So they
They
could
were
find
whistling.
Charlie.
All the swimmers out in the water! Little did I know it was actually for me. But anyway.
But he was safe. He
I was safe.
on his beach towel.
Duck swim.
Watching.
Duck swim.
Good. Couldn't swim 2 weeks ago.
No. Can now. Have a good weekend, everyone.